Hi, I'm Circuits Board, and this is a presentation on that I will now be referring to as MVCC. This is a conlang I made for the ABCDE, the A Best Conlang Delicacy Experience. Now, what is MVCC? MVCC is a language spoken by any ensemble, whether it be an orchestra, a choir, an ensemble of synthesizers, or a period ensemble, which is the ensemble I have chosen to focus on for this video. The period ensemble consists of a violin, a cello, a flute, a clarinet, and a piano. The phonology of this language consists of a series of colors and textures. The colors go as following: black, red, orange, yellow, lime, green, cyan, blue, violet, magenta, and white. The textures are as follows: fluffy, smooth, hot, cold, pointy, squishy, crumbly, wet, dry, and rigid. And as for the morphology, as you can tell, this is the same table. That is no accident. Each word is one phoneme long, and each phoneme corresponds to a single word. Now by this point you might be wondering, Circuits, what on God's green earth does this have to do with music? And now I'll explain it to you. Each color and texture is associated with a different kind of playing music. For the colors, this is realized as different types of chords, which for the purposes of this language I am using in a very general sense, as this includes backs of intervals that are not typically called chords. And for textures, it's different kinds of articulations and techniques. And here are the textures, the audio of which I'm going to perform using my voice. Just know that because not all instruments can play the same things, textures vary wildly between two different instruments, and the audio is not going to be representative of the words you see on screen. La la la, z, ka. Now on to syntax. This language has a morphosyntactic alignment of active-stative. This means that instead of marking for subjects and objects, you mark for agents and patients. This language also has a word order of verb-subject, and all verbs are intransitive. This means that no verb can take an object. This language is also extremely isolating, meaning that all words contain exactly one morpheme. This language is also head simultaneous? To explain this, I first need to explain how noun phrases work. So noun phrases are constructed using two different sentences, one to construct the noun phrase itself, and the other to say what the noun phrase is doing. For instance, to say, the fish person swims, you would need to say, the fish and the person mix. And then you would need to use mix as a pronoun, the fish person, and then say, the mix swims. To make it so that one verb can have two different subjects, you would need to say them simultaneously and make them act as if they were the same article. And on to grammar. This language has 0 tam markers. You see, because this language is made for storytelling purposes, all tense and aspect is usually perfective past, and when it isn't, it usually isn't important enough to specify that grammatically, and you can use other methods to specify the tense and the aspect. For that same reason, everything is always an indicative, and the reason you can't use other moods is because they don't exist in this language. This language has 2 cases, agentive and patientive. For the period ensemble, agentive is associated with strings, and patientive is associated with winds. Oh yeah, and piano is not like other girls. This means that it does not take a case, and when it is used, it does not affect the case. Phonotactics. From one color to the next, there needs to be at least one note that moves at most a whole tone. For example, if the first word is white, meaning that it only has one note, and the second word is blue, the white note, the blue word needs to have either the note that is in the white word, or a semitone up from the white word, or a whole tone up from the white word, or a semitone down from the white word, or a whole tone down from the right word. The maximum interval for a single interval for each instrument is a fifth. This, however, varies from instrument to instrument. The fifth rule is a general rule of thumb. Intervals cannot be reversed, but they can have octaves in between them. This means that a major third cannot become a minor sixth, but it can become a major tenth. Each instrument is associated with a color and a texture. This means that if a word is the color or texture of an instrument, even if that instrument does not correspond to the case that the sentence is in, that particular instrument should play during that word. For example, if you have a white word in the agentive case, which is typically associated with the strings, you should include the flute. You should make the flute play during that word. The violin is associated with orange and smooth. The cello is associated with being squishy and magenta. Piano is associated with being black and rigid. The clarinet is associated with being blue and hot. And the flute is associated with being white and dry. This language, although it doesn't have a standardized writing system, there are many different ways that people have come up with to write this language down. Here are a few that I typically use. Firstly, you can have a symbol that represents each texture, and for the colors, you can put that symbol into the color that represents the color. Alternatively, there is also a romanization you can use, where each color and texture is associated with a different letter. Specifics of this vary greatly. For me, I typically put the color in uppercase and the texture in lowercase, but I always put the texture before the color, and put spaces in between each word. Some people don't. It really depends. But at the end of the day, it's not really too important what you use, as the only person that will see it is likely you. Using the cyan and fluffy word, you can turn all MVCC phonemes into oral phonemes and spell out proper nouns using that system. It is recommended that right after you use this particle, you have a significantly longer amount of silence than typical, and it is obligatory to use a longer amount of silence after you're done spelling out the word, so that people know when to stop spelling words in their head. Words typically have silence in between them, although specifics vary from composer to composer. The pronunciation of people's names is based on that person's accent. If that person has multiple accent, pick whichever one makes more sense in the specific context. And pronunciation of places is based on the indigenous names of that place. In the case for countries, especially countries that don't have indigenous names, because the country is home to hundreds of indigenous groups, each of which have their own name for their specific region, you can alternatively use modern-day national anthems to refer to those countries. Or for continents, you can use national anthems from countries spread out across the continent. Here is the text I had to translate, and here is the translation of it into MVCC. And here is the gloss. Feel free to pause to read any of those if you want to. And now it is time to listen to the translation. Before I play this translation, I would like to thank all of the people who performed the translation text for me. I would also like to give a quick disclaimer that, unfortunately, the person who was supposed to play the flute was unfortunately unable to play it, and I have replaced it with my voice. Now, with out of the way, please enjoy. Peep, sheep, 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 sheep. P. Go, 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 go. P. Allons enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. Contre nous de la tyrannie, l'étendard sanglant élevé. Pa, 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 pa. I would like to thank everybody who made this video possible, and I would like to thank you for watching it. Now remember to drink water and have at least one meal today. Goodbye.